Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are back with more of the Salvus Aries Demo. This is a long demo, so definitely worth taking a look at. I still am loving the art and the writing, so this game is definitely worth the time to take a look at. You can watch me play live at twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video. I'm just turning the audio up for me so I can hear it. You guys should be able to hear it too. All right, let's play this one. I remember the visuals were very beautiful for this game. Look at our protagonist, she's so cute. And it is partially voiced, which was fantastic of it. All right, so he pinched the bridge of his nose and huffed angrily. Would you stop and listen? You aren't being sent to hell. But we deliver people to the gates, or well, the reception area. Do we get to go to heaven too? I imagined it would be far prettier than hell. Oh, you're so cute. No, they don't like it when our kind hang around for too long. Right, we're reapers. I'm a reaper. I think he's part demon. I don't remember 100%. He was sounding a little evasive, and I couldn't help but think that he was hiding something. I suppose they don't like us hanging around hell either, but at least they're more direct about not liking us. In heaven, there is a persistent sentiment of holier than thou. It's annoying. I see. I suppose that being in the afterlife doesn't change human behavior. Aren't angels supposed to be free from ill intent, though? Who knows? That's what makes it worse. They genuinely believe they are better than us. That's rude of them. I sighed. I've dealt with enough snobbery while I was alive. Sierra isn't like that, at least. That's why we let him hang. No, that's why we let him hang around us. Enough talk. Let's get you your weapon and we'll start teaching you how to use it. Combat training. That's where I left off. Combat training. With Orias. Look at him, he's so handsome. But before that, he walked over to the vending machine and got me one of those cold coffees. Oh yeah, I forgot the protagonist likes iced coffee, which is very me-coded too. This will help. Valfair did warn you about drinking too much. I didn't drink too much. Oh right, that's where we left off. The last time we had drank too much last night. But still, I took the opportunity to let myself smile when he looked away. He loves us, the little tsundere boy. Whatever positivity I had felt towards him earlier was quashed by anxiety. This room was so empty. Did he bring me here to kill me? I walked around in circles, and the taps of my footsteps echoed. Arias had told me to wait here until he returned with my weapon, but it was so boring. Where is he? I started to walk in circles, one foot in front of the other, just as he walked in. I wondered how training would go. Would I be fighting Arias? I gripped the hilt of an imaginary sword and swung my invisible weapon before me.
Take that! And that! Not so cocky now, are you?
Oh, her voice is so cute.
I see you've been keeping yourself busy.
Oh, his voice is so cute too. Here, let's turn this up just a tiny bit for you guys. I could not look him in the eye. I was just taking a look around the place. Yes. The white expanse of nothing, that is. He narrowed his eyes with disbelief, but for once he had the courtesy to not offer a rebuttal. Right. Anyways, this is yours. This is a stick. Slash the air away from me, if you would be so kind. I looked at him skeptically, but who was I to refuse? Although I was tempted to wield my weapon towards him, I behaved and drew the stick through the air. And out came a chain scythe. Ah! I got a little too excited, and the blade almost circled back towards me. With a flex of Osiris's fingers, the blade stilled and dropped downwards.
Perhaps do not maim yourself?
Oh, you've got a lovely voice, sir. You gave me no warning. I did not think you would be thrashing it about like a wild animal. Pardon me for attempting to have a little faith in you. Why, you little. Why, you little. Sir, you're cute. You told me to slash it. So I did. Anyways, best to put it into practical use. You said you were skilled in combat, right? A little. Oh, I love her eyelashes. This art's so pretty. Cool. This room can turn into any amount of environments. Let's see what we can work with. He walked over to some sort of panel, and I heard some beeps from where he was pressing into. Faster than a blink, we were in what looked like a city, much like the one I had been to earlier. Okay, your job is to strike down targets. They'll have a red aura to them. Their aura? I'll be able to see that? Yes. Your full powers will take time to realize themselves, but sight is something that comes to you automatically. Sight? Wherever you are, you will be able to see supernatural beings. Those with red auras are wandering spirits. This is a test simulation. Simulation. So it has been artificially reproduced. However, strong auras will actually. How strong the auras will actually be to you in the real world will depend on your innate ability. Lovely. I couldn't help but eke out a dry reply, considering I had absolutely no idea how my innate ability could even be. What if there was nothing there at all? With that, the first target came into view. So I just swing like this. It was difficult to gauge my strength. While I was able to slice the apparition in two, the blade swung back towards my feet once more. Eee! Araya sighed and stayed my scythe once more. Do you want me to take it back from you? It's not my fault. I spoke through gritted teeth as I struck another target that swooped down on me. I haven't had a chance to practice. I believe that trial by combat is the best practice. I think you need to, change your beliefs. I ducked down mid-sentence to whack at yet another apparition. Yeah, maybe give her a weapon she actually has practice in. Come on, guys. If I wasn't so absolutely irritated at him, I would be terrified at the prospect of actually having to do this one day. Ha! Funny to hear from you. Look, just copy me. He took out his own scythe, leapt into the air, and took out 3 apparitions at once. Show off! Show off! Showboatin'! Show off.
I'm just teaching you. Learn faster, pupil.
Despite his tone, I knew what he was saying was true, and I tried to learn as fast as I could. Eventually, I started to get a hang of when to draw my blade back, how much force to expel, and how to wield it. I'm a pro. I'm a pro. Of course, I was still a beginner, but Arias had to intervene a little less often. You're surviving. Not the same thing. Your instincts are good, but you need better control of your weapon. I'm baby. I'm baby. I'm used to swords, not this chain thing. Can I have a sword? No. This is built with special properties. We do not use swords. Damn. Damn diggity damn damn. Do not hurt the ones with a blue aura. Ah! But it was too late. Congratulations. You just destroyed the soul of an innocent child. What? But I didn't mean it. You didn't warn me in advance. I was disheartened. This was not what a pro would do. Arias seemingly took pity on me and pressed a few buttons on the panel, which returned the room back to normal. You did well enough for today. The soon man is being nice. How dare he? I will let you off the hook for afternoon training just this once. I appreciate your benevolence, sire. I should hope you can make it to at least 3rd place one day. Oh, you think I can't take first? I would love to see you try. I'm gonna take 1st place from him. I'm gonna do it. Well, I hope to persuade Arias about my potential to defeat him during lunch. He took his leave the second he had seen me off back at the office. Kayam. Ah, Pinker. How has training been going? I killed a child. Well, that happens. Has it happened to you? Probably. He turned away, shoulders shaking from obvious laughter. Go ahead, laugh. My apologies. Look at them. Oh, I forgot how pretty these sprites were. So beautiful. He recovered rather elegantly and patted my shoulder with sympathy. If you aren't preoccupied, shall we have lunch together? Yes, please. Somewhere tasty, please. Kayam chuckled, and I noted that his laughter was a lovely velvety rumble. I hope to not disappoint, madame. Oh, cutie. We went to the cafeteria downstairs, which, to me, was no different from an elegant restaurant. Kayam ordered a couple of sandwiches for us, and we took our seats somewhere less busy. I had yet to get used to the stares everyone passing by gave me, but Kayam kindly blocked my view of the others when he could. Is Arias going too rough on you? Why, are you going to be gentle with me? I let out a long exhale and Kayam chuckled. No. He laughed harder. I mean it. Although I wish you would give me more instruction. It's been like trial by fire. I see. He is a fan of the tough love method. Flirts. Tough love? Where was the love? We can have one of the others take over if you like. But that would mean surrendering. That's all right. I can keep up with him. Haha, I like to see that spirit. My limbs are still intact at least. I wasn't expecting this type of weapon. I was thinking I would get a sword or something more pointy and less swingy. I made a jabbing gesture and poked my finger into his bottle of water. Ah, yes. Chain scythes are specifically crafted for us. You must be careful with it, for it can hurt anyone. Reapers included. Should we be handling something so dangerous? We're the only ones that can. Consider it an occupational hazard. Seeing as you're still in one piece, I think you'll do just fine. There was a beep from his pocket. He took out his device and glanced at me before reading the message on it. He was teasing me again, wasn't he? My sincerest apologies. I asked you to lunch, but here I am having to leave early. I will see you later, Pinker. No, Kayam, come back. Goodbye, Kayam. Oh, I was meaning to ask him about hell. My bites turned into smaller nibbles. As my appetite waned, Kayam's sandwich remained to keep me company, sad and unfinished. Kayam had sent Zafan downstairs to save me from the awkwardness of being alone in a room full of people who were talking about me. He had seen me back off to the office where Arias swiftly set us on our way to the next item on his schedule. You could ask me how my lunch was. Why? I've had the food here. You're so mean. Be meaner. Be yandere. Perhaps as a form of courtesy? Did you ask me how mine was? He had a point. How was your lunch? I didn't eat. Okay. Thankfully, Sarah passed by and brought that awkward conversation to an end. And where are you two going? Hello, pretty angel boy. Hell. Ah, good luck with that, especially you, Pinker. I've never been to hell before. I have. which is a very good thing in your case. Are we going through that door again? That's right. Look at you. You've actually got a brain in there. Bully me more. Rude. So here we just say our location again. We cannot control the time we go to, so... Wait! Can you hold my hand? Although it wouldn't be my first time going through this, my nerves still fluttered at the thought of traveling across dimensions and time once again. Even worse was the fact that we would be going down below to hell. I was still afraid that he'd change his mind and leave me there. For the love of... Never mind. He snatched my hand up. Yay! He held my hand! He did it! If you're going to ask, then commit to it, alright? He snapped at me, but he couldn't look me in the eye either. Oh, look at his little blush! Look at how cute it is! I love it. Are you blushing? Don't point it out. He's gonna stop holding our hand. Do you want to go to hell alone? No. No. Then be quiet and don't make fun of the man that's taking you there. He then faced the door, and as quickly as he could, hell. I squeezed his hand back tightly, letting it anchor me as we traveled to the realm that would be far less friendlier than all the others we had saw together. Although the breeze on my face was warm, his hand was even warmer. No, please, I'll do anything. Please, I can change. Don't take me. Ah! From the distance, we saw a man getting scruffed by the collar and dragged into the lobby. What an introduction to hell. Don't tell me you were expecting sunshine and daisies. Well, no, but a few roses could liven up the place. Right? There's nothing wrong with having nice reception. I had an iron grip on Arias's hand, still, and my nails dug in when I saw the man doomed to a perpetual doom. Well, all right. So we have to go over here. Usually this is where we process the fresh meat. Fresh meat. The figure that had gone into the lobby came into view, although bereft of one screaming soul. Kayam, you have a stop here today? Yes, as it were. Why is she here? He gave Arias an accusatory stare, then looked at our joined hands. Arias let go, as if he had been burned, and I quickly tucked my own hand behind my back. Well, she has to bring souls here eventually, doesn't she? You mean this isn't part of training? Then why is Arias subjecting me to this? Well, typically not on the very first day. It is part of my training. She's right. This really is trial by fire, almost literally. What? He said almost. You're not going near any fire. We wouldn't let that happen to you. Unless... Bully me more. Bully me more. He cleared his throat and pushed his glasses, and I swore I could see his lenses flash a warning. You two can head back without me. I have to talk to Biel's about an influx coming in soon. A party.
Quite the merry one.
Ooh. Hello, Kaya. Do all Reapers have such dark humor? While they shared a laugh, my stomach churned at the thought of more screaming souls like the last one. To be tossed away forever, in agony. I suppose one becomes habituated over time. And I suppose they all deserved it, right? We're not planning on waiting for you, as it were. Arias' ill manners snapped me back to the conversation, and I spoke up in defense of Kayam. I would have waited. Kayam smiled at me appreciatively. But I'm the boss today, so you get no say. What a tyrant. Ugh. In that case, abhorrent manners aside, I will see you two after work. Yes, I get to decide my after hours, right? Yes, because I'm not actually a tyrant. Doubtful. As Kayam was about to make his exit, I realized there was something I was still dying to know. Before you go, Kayam, I wanted to ask what happened to that man. Ah, he's fallen into the pit. The receptionist here will be sorting out his duration and punishment logistics in the meanwhile. Best you not worry too much. I really do hate to be abrupt, but there is some work I still need to do. The pit of despair. Good day, Pinker. Hell is scary. It is indeed, isn't it? Look at his little sad face. Look at his little sad face. He doesn't want me to end up in hell. That's why he's showing me how scary it would be if I faltered. To see someone meet their fate right before my eyes was terrifying. Is this what my friend felt seeing me when I had been executed? I shuddered. Bit too much? Yeah. I think that is enough for today then. Don't I have to learn to do hellish things? Throwing people into pits, doing paperwork? It can wait another day. I might get in trouble for overworking the new recruit. He rapped on my head in what I assume would be the closest thing to an affectionate gesture I would receive from him. Always gonna be real affectionate one day when we make him love us. It did reassure me though. He was looking out for my well-being. It just happened to be in the most asshole way possible. I love you so much. I was used to being spoiled by Felix, with all the smiles and adoration. This was just a different way of friendship that I would have to get used to. Or so I assume. I might just be inventing this one-way friendship in my head. But that was neither here nor there right now, as I was in the midst of my training and had to learn the ropes as quickly as I could. So, when can we go to heaven? It might be best if we don't go, for the time being. Why not? They do not like you very much, so you are not allowed there. And the truth comes out. Why? That's not fair. Is it not? You're right. It was entirely fair. I was just upset about it. All things considered, I'd be lucky if I even saw the gates of heaven from a distance someday. You aren't missing much. Come on, a round at Kayam's is better anyways. You know, you can be nice after all. He glanced at me. Don't get too comfortable. I deflated after being rebuked, but stuck close to him all the same. The experience had worn me out more than I expected, and he was the only familiar face I had. On our way back, while I didn't need to hold his hand again, he held it out for me without a word. Looks like the others aren't ready yet. I suppose not. I brought my car today, since I figured this might happen. I can drive you home. I wondered how much of this Arias had accounted for, and what made him still decide to go through with it. I couldn't tell if he was being considerate or not. He seemed the type to charge ahead, and to try and patch up the consequences later. It's hard to keep up with him. You can rest up before we hang at Kayam's. Shouldn't I get some work done? No, let's get you home for now. Thank you. You know, you can be... Don't. Ugh. There's just no use trying to be his friend. It was all one-sided after all. Never mind, you're just mean. Good. Get it into your head. I'm gonna kiss this man whether he wants me to or not. He's gonna love me. I can see why he didn't drive out often. He was like a monster behind the wheel. It was like they released a demon from hell in the form of Arias and unleashed him onto this realm. Whatever fears had been alleviated swiftly returned as I dug my fingers deep into the seat. I did not realize that driving could be so loud. It was like he was unleashing whatever frustrations he had onto the road. You're a very rough driver. You want to try doing it yourself? No, thank you. As terrible as his driving was, I would rather take my chances with him. It is still better to learn, but I will not be your teacher. I should hope not. I think you will be yelling at me more than teaching me. I think I would actually cry. Cute. Because you would probably deserve it. A good teacher is patient. I never claimed to be a good teacher. I crossed my arms and decided that pursuing conversation with him was pointless. I was so irritated that I had forgotten. The scene in hell that I had witnessed. Was he riling me up on purpose to make me forget about it? This was the same man who had thrown me into the training simulation with a very pointy weapon with no instruction. He was just a very prickly man, wasn't he? I had been dropped off as promised and was now soaking in the tub. Sierre had shown me all the different types of bath products he had purchased for me, and I had fun combining the different scents, although they were starting to make me sleepy. Just as I was about to drown in my own bathtub, I heard a knock at the door. At the same time, I heard my phone ping. You home? Duffin! Coming! I scrambled to put on some clothes and scampered to the door as droplets were left behind by my mad dash to greet my guests. It probably would have been better for me to tie back my hair so that it didn't soak my shirt, but I couldn't find anything to do that with. Hello! The guys were all at my door, even Arias, although he was at the back, like usual. They blinked at me, probably taking in my haphazard appearance. Zaffin was softly blushing. What was going through his head? What are you guys doing here? Arias said you couldn't stop crying, so we decided we would just spend time here with you. I was not crying. Arias! He looked back at me with a smug grin. I wanted nothing more than to smack that little smirk off his face. But given that this was not the best place for it... Oh, was he winding us up? Wow. Looks like you do care after all. I smiled back towards Arias with a sweet smile. Maybe teasing him back would be my best method of revenge. I stepped aside so all the boys could file in. My home was suddenly a lot warmer. They're the idiots who dragged me here. Whatever makes you feel better, Arias. No one likes the tsundere, Arias. I do. I do. What the fuck is that? It's you. It's you, baby boy. So uncultured. We have brought you hot cocoa. I shall prepare some for all of us to share this evening. We've got some groceries too. And we're going to teach you to use your appliances this week. You haven't tried yourself yet, right? Chaim walked into the kitchen, inspecting the surroundings as he tapped his chin. Well, nothing appears to be broken, so... I am offended that you think of me to be so reckless. I throw one watch and you paint me as a crazed, destructive woman. Unbelievable. Hey, I think that just makes you more fun to be around. The rest of these guys are boring sticks in the mud. Yeah, let me be crazed about technology. It's fun. I find that I'm very interesting. He looked around for affirmation, and all eyes started away. I gave him an encouraging nod out of pity, and he brightened up. To be fair, the concept of an angel was genuinely interesting to me. These men were too used to this strange world. I'll put on a movie for us. Sierra, go get some blankets. Pinker, you don't mind if we stay in, right? Not at all. I appreciate the company, even Arias. I'm gonna marry that man. I'm flattered. He was dry as ever, yet we all still laughed. It was the start to a very cozy evening after a very long day. For the first time, for the first time, for as long as I could recall, I felt lucky. Like I had finally found something that could be akin to family. Reapers are unattached. Chaim had said that, but I could still dare to hope, right? Chapter 3? How many chapters does this intro have? In the blink of an eye, a week had already passed. My training alternated between each of the Reapers. I would train in the morning, go to lunch with some of the guys, or Lila when they were too busy, and in the afternoon they taught me the process of reapings, but I had yet to actually witness one. Well, except for Kayam tossing that man into hell. It was like an uncomfortable, intrusive thought that forced an unpleasant itch into my throat whenever I recalled it, but one I needed to get used to. And fast, since I was going to see my first execution today. Wait, not execution, but oh my god, accompaniment to the other side. What's it called? How are you feeling?
Fine. Totally fine.
I felt like I had swallowed a net full of butterflies and was struggling to keep them contained in my throat. You sound anything but fine. I can't blame you. The scenery around us was so beautiful, but we had such a sad task ahead of us. I think Valefair could tell I was dragging my feet. Even though he had long strides, he'd slowed his pace for my sake. Of course, even my stamina was stronger than ever. It was my heart that lay heavy in my chest. Even in death, perhaps that was my greatest burden. I wanted to be more rational than emotional, but I found that I'd wanted to give way to the latter more often. Have you read the file for this case? I have not. Chaim said it was particularly tragic, so I was afraid to. I have kombucha. Give me a sec. Considering I had a tragic end myself, I should be a bit more prepared for such matters by now. But I was told our companion today would be a child. There were some things I think one could never be used to. It is a sad tale. Are you sure you don't wish to know now to prepare yourself? He stopped walking, turning to face me fully. Concerned, along with pity, was reflected in his eyes. I could not bear to look into them any longer. All right, tell me. He regarded me a little longer, but began to walk again while speaking. Oh no, not Timmy! Timmy grew ill one day. His parents were from a rural area, not well educated, but desperate for their child to grow better. So they handed him to a quack that fed him nothing but water disguised as medicine. No, I gasped, outraged. A rage I had long quelled rose up inside me. I bit the inside of my cheek and focused on my steps. He was doing this to many families, to patients of all ages. How he got away with this, I have no idea. Bribery? I offered with naught but contempt. Valefair shared a sigh of disgust with me and ran a hand through his hair. Most likely, I'm afraid. The man lined his pockets well enough. While stealing from helpless families, naturally most of the patients withered away. His entire operation would move from town to town. My jaw clenched tightly, and my fingers dug into the flesh of my palm. I could picture this happening all too clearly in my head. I wish that this tale was beyond belief, but I know better. And did none of the workers say anything? They did not. How despicable. I suppose they suffered from absolute poverty as well. Therefore, should anything happen to their own. What would happen to me, my family? I suppose that's why it is easy for others to watch someone suffer. I've never been in that position, though, so I have no right to say anything. Still, I can't imagine letting such an atrocity happen before my eyes. Hmm. I apologize. This isn't directed towards you.
I do not mind. Although, it should be directed at me.
He added this so quietly, I figured I wasn't meant to respond. Valfair, how do I approach Timmy? Talk to him gently. Oh. How? Hello? You're dead now? Come with us? Ugh, I feel dreadful even thinking those words. I feel Arias would do something like that. Ha! Even he has some tact. I shall be with you the entire time. Do not worry. If you have any reservations, look at me and I shall assist.
Does it ever get easier, telling someone they've passed?
Only when you are taking them to heaven. He sighed softly, searching for the right words to say, then looked up. I followed his gaze. The sky was bright and blue as ever. Despite the tragedy that has occurred, nothing marred the beauty around us. Lucky for us, it is a beautiful day. Oh, that only makes it sadder. No, he'll have a beautiful departure. True, true. He nudged the small of my back gently, and I dragged my feet towards the little mousy-haired boy in front of us now. He couldn't be any older than 9. He looked hale and hearty, though. I suppose the body must be restored in death. Taking a deep breath, I crouched down to his level, then tapped at his shoulder. With a start, he turned around, but smiled brightly when he noticed me. Hello there, friend. Hi, who are you? My name is Pinker. And you are? My name is Timothy, but I like it when people call me Timmy. Oh, Timmy. No, Timmy. No! Games, why you always gotta be sad? Stop it! Well, little Timmy, we have a trip to take together. Where are we going? Can I just say heaven outright? I can't, can I? It sounds like a scam. Do you like puppies and ponies? I like cats. Where we are going, you can play with lots of them. That also sounds like a scam. But it worked. The child brightened up and rocked back and forth on his feet. Really? Will we? Of course. I looked at Vale for confirmation that there would actually be cats, and he nodded. But my parents... His little fist balled up at his sides, and he swallowed. I'm finally back home, but I can't talk to them. His eyes glistened, and his voice shook, telltale signs that one was about to break down in tears. Oh, baby. Although the one in question might have been me first. Are they ignoring me 'cause they're mad at me for getting sick and causing trouble? He pointed to the distance, where a crying couple huddled together all by themselves. The husband was holding up the wife, who clutched onto his shirt, her fingers twisted into the fabric as she agonized over the loss of her son. Mama, Papa. But of course, they could never hear him again. They're not ignoring you. You didn't cause them trouble. You're just somewhere far away from them. I wanted nothing more than to comfort him, but what could I even say? I held out my arms to hug Timmy. While he didn't push me away, he didn't move forward. But I'm right here. He put his little arms around my shoulders, his own small one shaking, and buried his face into my arm. Hiccups that would only be heard by the three of us broke the peaceful air around us. Daggers scraped against my heart, and I knew this would be a scene I could never forget. We stayed like that for a while, as my mind searched for the words to tell him what had happened. It's like a fairy tale. They can't see you anymore, or hear you, or touch you, but you'll meet again one day. You're just on two different sides of the same world. What do you mean? You know how when people turns into stars when they goodness, I couldn't do this. I aimed a pleading gaze towards Valefair when Timmy saved us both from having to say any more. Oh, I see. I'm dead, aren't I? His voice was as soft as his footsteps, tiny crunches on the grass as he walked out of my arms and turned around. I stood up and rested a hand on his shoulders. The atmosphere was forlorn, and it was as though I had lost my own family for a second time. You're a clever child, Timmy. I remember being really, really tired and hungry. I remember wanting Mama's stew. Then I woke up here. I was waiting for a while, and then Mama and Papa came. I had so much to tell them. I really wanted to get better, but I just got more sleepy every day. I'm a ghost right now, right? Do you think I can haunt the bad man? Although I did not condone lying, I felt the situation called for it. I do wish he could do a little haunting, but I don't want him to turn into an evil being. I wish we could haunt the bad man. Just for a little bit. Just a little bit, Valefair. Come on. Let's do it. Okay. I wonder if I could haunt them in his place. Let me be mischievous. You're not a ghost, Timmy. Just a kind spirit, ready to go to heaven. You can meet your parents again there one day. I looked at Valefair, hoping it was okay to say so. It won't be too long of a wait, Timmy. You can tell them everything again soon. I don't want them to come fast. That means they'll die too, right? I hope they can be happy with my little sisters. I'm real patient. That you are. But do you think I could go take one last look at my mama and papa? Of course. No, of course. We will be here, waiting for you. I won't take too long. He scurried away, and then I realized that the grass did not fold under his feet at all. Yeah, 'cause he's a spirit. Come on. You're a reaper. You know this. Protagonist. You're adorable. He could never play again. No longer could he enjoy the beauty of the planet, only its grievances. We should leave him be for a while. Let him take his final farewells and be at peace. He is a strong child. he is stronger than I am.
Are you alright? Do you need to return home?
I can make it.
I'm sorry for bringing you here. Nonetheless, thank you for coming. This would have been difficult without you.
His hand shook a little, but he placed a broad hand on my head, and I welcomed the warmth. His strokes were very gentle against my hair. With each caress, I felt the pangs in my heart dull just a little. You're just saying that. I feel like a mess. I still feel like a mess.
I would have stopped you if I thought that were the case. Do you think I'd let you break a child's heart?
You mean even more than I already have?
You were very kind, Pinker.
That poor child. As I said those words, I could feel my sadness transforming into something darker. I want to burn down those sham hospitals. Yeah, there we go. Dark vengeance.
Truly.
He sighed and patted my shoulder. While I was wondering where one could buy supplies to do such a thing. That's my girl. Am I the yandere? Is it me? Am I the evil one?
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, such despicable people. I can't bear it. How can they get away with this?
I understand exactly how you feel, but we can't do anything of that sort.
Why? Because it's a sin?
Because it's not our place. You and me. We guide people to their destinations after death. We are not allowed to interfere.
I am not interfering. I am just making the world a better place. I'm the yandere.
What happens after you burn it down? How many people would die?
They let that child suffer. What does it matter? If I have to serve my sentence here because I enabled my friend, then why should those people live? They enabled that child to die. What is the difference? Oh, damn, girl. They have circumstances. So did I. But I'm still here, aren't I? Whoa! No matter what I did, this was my life now. No matter what happened, I was fated to execution and now punishment.
Pinker, listen. When I tell you that we cannot, I mean that we are powerless. If beings like you and I step out of bounds, the consequences will be dire, not just for you and I, but for all the others as well.
Is there nothing I can do?
These people have innocent families. Families that cannot survive without the people you wish to harm. Sometimes we can't do anything.
I hate it. I hate it.
I know, I do as well. But I'll make a strong recommendation that they all go to hell when the time comes. Unless their souls were collected already. Which is one of the reasons why we cannot interfere with things that have already passed.
I don't understand why this child had to wait longer than those that have wronged him.
Because the best souls are the ones that bear the most patience. It is the evildoers we must punish quickly. I think you're gaslighting me. And I don't like that, sir.
I suppose.
Didn't I wait 100 years for my punishment? I didn't wish to speak any longer. I wasn't angry at Valfair. I was angry at the world and at myself for still not being able to do anything. In life, I was trying to work towards something better, but in death, my only role was to be a witness and a facilitator. While I had been enjoying my time here, I remembered now that this was truly a punishment for me. How did everyone else live like this the rest of the time? Why did Valefair volunteer for this? How can you willingly do this job? He took a sharp intake of breath. His usually smooth face quirked in response. It was a bold question, and the silence that followed had me expected to be reprimanded. But instead, he answered with the patience and the melancholic air that almost made me regret asking.
Because I'd rather be here than live amongst the people who commit such terrible acts.
I didn't understand it, but I would keep these feelings to myself. I didn't know how much time had passed. Valefair continued to give me his silent solace. The young boy finally returned and smiled, as if he was saying goodbye before going to school for the day. I prayed that the time would pass in a blink for him, so that he could be with his family that much faster. Are you ready to come with us? While trying not to burst into tears, I held my hand out for him to take. His little fingers curled against mine, and it only carved out a deeper hole in my heart. I was allowed to see just the outskirts of heaven. They wouldn't allow me into the reception area. I was allowed up to the walkway before the guard pointed a spear in my direction. My apologies, Pinker.
My job would be easier if they let me in.
The guard said nothing. You can go wait in the lounge for me. I'll show you how to submit your report. It's quite simple. Technology is really a marvel.
I see. Well, little Timmy, I wish we had met under better circumstances. You are a kind child. Hello, Rand. How are you doing today? May heaven grant you a home, grant you what our home could not. You too, nice lady. Will I see you again? Not too shabby. I'm doing good. I'm finishing up the demo here for Salvus Aries today. We started playing this last time on Otome Demo Roulette. Just reading my way through this one. I like it. The art is beautiful. This guy has some tragic backstory. I don't know what it is. It's so pretty. My protagonist is beautiful. She's got a great personality. She's been punished to be a Grim Reaper after her death. Who knows? Maybe you might. Although they won't let me in here, maybe you can visit me one day. Silver hair, the Valkyrie life, right? Oh my god, she's so cute. He smiled brightly and shook my hand heartily. It's been a while since I got to talk to someone like this. Thanks for bringing me here. I'll name one of the cats after you. That is my life goal, to have a cat named after me instead of just me being named after a cat. I'm truly honored. That was all I could say before my throat clogged up. The waterworks were really coming. I bid goodbye with one last shaky wave and scurried back to the office. I hid my face until I made it here. The door slammed a bit too loudly behind me, but I didn't care, as long as no one had noticed. I sank into the couch and buried my face into the softest looking cushion laying beside me. I hate this. I realized that complaining into a pillow was not the most professional thing to do, but most professions didn't involve that much emotional damage, did they? Emotional damage. All professions involve emotional damage, baby girl. I'm sorry to tell you this. Look at how cute she is. What you up to today, Rand? Hanging out, chilling out? Working while chilling? Oh, that's fair, that's fair. Doing lots of fun stuff. The complaining didn't seem to help much. Maybe I'll go get some fresh air. Commission, so yes and no. Oh, fun. Oh, hi, baby kitty. What you doing? Spanking your bum. Yeah, Nova. What you doing, baby? Do you want to come up and say hi, or do you just want face scratches? She came for her face scratches. Now that I knew how to work my device, I could come back quickly if Veilfair was looking for me. I hope no one sees me. I wanted to be by myself for a while. I was embarrassed about how strongly I felt and how poorly I probably looked. I knew they'd all be kind and try to comfort me, but that just made me feel worse. I felt like I relied too much on these men. I started to walk on my own, but I don't know where I am. I figured I could retrace my steps, but I had no idea of little else. Instead of feeling anxious, though, I yearned to explore the place more. It was a bit quiet, not having anyone to guide me today. Nonetheless, I enjoyed the freedom I had for my little excursion. Since my phone had yet to ping, I kept wandering further than I had intended to. The streets were similar to the one in the modern world. I had seen some of the views from the car every day, but it was my first time I had walked here myself. A kitty! Look at this game! 10 out of 10 game, there's a cat. Oh, kitty. There was a little cat in front of me. How precious! Here, let me pet you. It gave me a scornful look and trapezed into the alleyway. Come back, just one pet. This is me coded. This protagonist is me coded. Several times when I'm commenting on the game and like what's going on, the protagonist says exactly what I would say. And I 100% would chase a cat into an alleyway. I followed after it quickly and crouched down. My skirt really needs a good wash after today. I felt a little stupid, but I hopped forward as the cat continued to saunter into the shadows. Come here. I I wriggled my fingers into what I hoped was an inviting gesture. Inviting to get chomped at this rate.
Who are you? Why are you here?
Who is this? A new character? Who are you? Oh my god, is the cat speaking? Oh my god, I love her. Ah! I fell right onto my bottom in shock.
Why are you yelling?
Ah! I looked up to see that it was indeed a person speaking instead of a cat. Shit, I didn't think anyone would be here but the cat. For the record, I would normally never go into dark alleys alone, but I figured there would be no harm here. This is the second time, girl, that you have went into a dark alley. The first time was with a person. Because he offered you a free vacation. This time because you followed a cat. I, the streamer, would never go into a dark alley with a person. But 100% would follow a cat into... Yeah, but with a cat, yes, I would follow a cat into a dark alley. 100%. Also cat. Why are you? Where did the kitty go? A bored meow rang out from behind the frightened man.
Kitty! Come here.
The little brat padded up to me, finally, and I gingerly scratched behind its ear. So soft. She's like, I don't care about this man anymore. Kitty time. Also very me-coded. The fur under my fingers was undeniably soft, and its warmth called for my hand to continue giving it scritches. This is also ironic because I'm currently petting my cat. This is just what I needed after the emotional damage. It was therapeutic. Could I take it home? Aren't you a good girl? A low growl. A good boy? I took his silence as confirmation. Why are you letting her pet you?
You should leave right now.
Perhaps he was attempting to be threatening, but I just wanted to pinch his cheeks. He stomped his foot for good measure, and I averted my face to hide a giggle. Why should I? This is our alley. You own this alley? It appears to be public property. Did Stasis have a homelessness problem? Had I naively assumed that all beings here would be taken care of? He seemed much too old to be a teen with a rebellious streak. So what's this kitty's name? It's The kitty hissed. It's just Kitty. I'll call you Mr. Kitty. Meow. It seemed favorable enough for him, for he leapt up onto my shoulder. Huh, you're lighter than I thought you would be. Or maybe I'm stronger as a Reaper now. Were
Were you a human before? His eyes shifted from side to side as he spoke, and he kept his arms around himself, but his eyes trained on my face. He was like a kitten himself, feral and unsure whether to trust me. I think I'm pretty trustworthy, though. Girl, you were thinking about burning down hospitals before. Granted, they were corrupt hospitals. You were thinking about it, though. Well, that's right. I recently became a Reaper. Oh. He nodded, as though something dawned on him. Initially, it felt as though he was trying to be aggressive, but now I could see the curiosity in his eyes. Do you like it, being a Reaper? The question was a punch to the gut. I thought I did, but that was before I had to actually do any Reaper work. What did I expect? That I get to train, eat good food, and hang out with the guys every day? I could understand why the people around me were so jaded. I should be too, considering everything that brought me here. It was probably just a casual question. I had needed to offload my feelings, though, and this bristling stranger would have to deal with them. I hate bearing witness to tragedy. I hate being unable to do anything. I hate that my hands are tied and that I'm told that this is just how it is. It feels similar to my human life. He pondered this for some time and scratched his chin. To my surprise, he perched on a dusty crate and the cat leapt from my shoulder onto his head. How so? Well, today I had my first reaping, and I had to take a little boy to heaven. Isn't it good that he went to heaven? Yes, but he shouldn't have died in the first place. I wanted to punish the horrible people who did that to him, but I can't, and I hate it. Sorry for unloading all this on you. It's best you forget about that kind of thing. His brows furrowed in earnest concern, and something dark passed over his eyes. The stranger's words were spoken in an unexpectedly sage-like manner.
It won't do you any good to think about it. Go back to where you came from.
With a melancholy sigh, he waved me off. I can't. I died. I huffed at the man, and he returned a frustrated sputter. Both of us had our hands on our hips, while Mr. Kitty sat in the middle and looked at us to and fro. If anyone were to walk in here, we would look utterly ridiculous.
I mean, just go back to your Reaper friends. Live like they tell you to. Don't ask too many questions.
The urgent tone piqued my curiosity. What had happened to this guy? What about you? Why are you here? Are you a Reaper? A human? I peered into his face, trying to get a read on him. He flinched and hopped off his seat, shoes thudding as they hit the crates.
I'm someone that you should forget about. Don't tell anyone about me. Please.
He mumbled the last bit, his cheeks still flush pink. Then he whipped around and waggled his finger in what I presumed meant to be a threatening gesture. I poked his finger with mine, and he glared, no, pouted. I can't take him seriously, he's too cute. I mean it, I do okay. Why not? My friends are nice. He squinted at me with a look that read, are you serious? How long have you been a Reaper again? I felt embarrassed, a bit embarrassed to answer this, so I decided to stare fixedly at my shoes while the cat batted at my heel. A week? You only met them a week ago. But Kayam and the rest are really kind. He flinched once I said Kayam. Did they have bad blood? Look, I don't get along with Reapers. I know an angel too.
Damn, okay. I don't get along with anyone. So please, just let me be. You really are so nitpicky.
Am I? Really? Oh god, was I being like Orias? I needed to spend less time around him. I guess this was my cue to leave this guy and his cat in the alley. I think he should be grateful to have a visitor, though. It seems lonely here. Alright, it was nice to meet you,
Lucian.
Lucian. Oh, he's got a name. Did we just meet a new love interest? For someone so on guard, he revealed that too easily. It must be a fake name. Not that there's any point in arguing with him. Lucian, I'm Pinker. I curtsied, and he shuffled his foot awkwardly, unsure whether to return the gesture or not. Yeah, there's a cat. Look at him. His name's Mr. Kitty. We found another elf boy. He decided against it and settled for a friendly nod. We had come a long way from yelling at each other in just one meeting. Be careful, Pinker. I'll do my best. See you, Lucian and Mr. Kitty. I bent down for one last scritch and decided to meander back to work before they noticed my absence.
What do you mean, see you? Hey, come back! Or don't. No, don't come back.
Valefair still hadn't called, and I grew worried. Did something happen to delay him for so long? Perhaps I should have stayed with him, although I don't think anything could go awry in such a holy place. Just as I was about to call him, he rang my phone. Speak of the devil, or Reaper. Valefair, are you alright? Sorry for keeping you waiting for so long. I was called away urgently to take care of something, but I can't seem to find you. Oh, I had gone out for a walk. I'll be right back. Oh no, will I get in trouble? They'll let me have lunch even if I get in trouble, right? Despite the flutter of excitement in my tummy from meeting a new person, my appetite had returned. The cat should win. Win my heart, my affection, my love? Mr. Kitty has. With a lot to think about and a new secret in my heart, I hurried back to work in hopes that there would be food left for me. So, that was the first time you'd gone out on your own. I was not good at keeping secrets. I was sweating like a sinner in church. Thankfully, not literally, but I might as well have been soaked in sweat. Unfortunately, these damn men were shrewd, perceptive to a fault. Nary a twitch of my finger nor a jerk of my leg went unnoticed. I decided to sit on my hands, which perhaps only made it worse. I wanted some fresh air. By the time I had returned to the office, caught up with Valefair, and submitted my report, technology was still more difficult than expected. It had been time to return. The others were quite shocked that I had made my own excursion, considering how nervous I had been since my arrival, and I had been fielding their questions until now.
You went quite a way for fresh air.
Hello, Arias.
I needed a lot of fresh air.
What was he, an inquisitor? I was sitting in the armchair, which made it easier for the men to interrogate me from either side. Despite sitting on the most lush of cushions, their eagle eyes made me squirm uncomfortably. I was prey, caught in their trap. I couldn't bear to look at them, but that would only make me appear all the more guilty. Did something happen while you were gone? You should have called for one of us to go with you. I don't want to keep bothering you all. I looked around, seeking a lifeline, and Valefair came to my rescue. Although he quirked an inquisitive eyebrow, he mercifully did not question me further. Sierra was none the wiser to my dilemma, lost in his thoughts as usual. I'm very sorry your first reaping was under such sad circumstance. It is my responsibility to ease you into this life, and I failed you. Don't be ridiculous. She has to know what it's like. Arias is right, as much as I hate to say it. Excuse me? What's wrong with admitting I'm right? You're such a tsundere motherfucker. His eyes bore into the top of my skull, and I cleared my throat before continuing and successfully ignoring his offended scoff. You didn't fail me. Sierra shook his head and pursed his lips in a rare show of reproach. There is no point in throwing her to the fire. Well, Arias threw me to fire the first day. I grinned at him, and Arias rolled his eyes. His eyes were going to get stuck like that one day.
For the last time, I was not sending you to hell. Let it go.
I stuck my tongue out at him. Forgive me. I had seen you run past me, but I wasn't able to come find you right away. No, Sierra. I was being silly.
Aw, you must have been really shaken.
The first reaping isn't easy, and I took her for a particularly difficult one. While he was always so resolute, he slumped his head against his hand and sighed heavily. His usual repose slipped into something a little bit more vulnerable. Even someone like Valefair could be tired, and it was my fault. In any case, it was a learning experience. I figured you would be the best partner to have for her first time. Oh ho ho, enchanté. I think, Cam, you would be the best partner for my first time. I mean, what? What are you barking about? Hi. I still believe in that. And Pinker, not all deaths are sad. Really? There are many people who are content to die. Welcome it even, after a long, fulfilling life. Those are the best. The best deaths? Of course. Some of those happy people also go to hell. Bad people also die happy. He pointed this out quite proudly. Zafin reached over and shook him, and the poor angel was left looking bewildered. Sierra. Sierra. And you all call me tactless.
child? Oh, Sierra. While they scolded him, I burst into laughter. I doubled over and couldn't stop giggling. Tears of mirth fell from my eyes. I didn't have to look to see that they thought I had gone mad. Perhaps I had. But Sierra's innocent bluntness was just what I needed to relieve the coil of stress that weighed down my gut. What did I say? Zafin joined in my chuckles, and the room filled with laughter, even from Arias. Bad people die happy, but they go to hell right after. I do not understand. Why are you all laughing? You're cute, Sierra. Sierra beamed. He's not cute, he's just stupid. Stupid people can be cute. Don't be judgmental, Arias. Stupid people can be cute. No need to be so sour. Aw, are you jealous? Shut up. Well then, if you're going to be so immature, I won't talk to you. Anyways, Balefare, what did you have to go and do? I realize I haven't been able to ask you yet. I cut off Arias before he could retort. It felt good. I had called him in for a favor. What's the favor for?
My, you're quite tenacious.
Oh, thank you. I put a hand to my cheek, pleased by his compliment. Oh, that means you need to mind your own business. Oh. Now, Arias. It's nothing so secretive. I just think today isn't a good time to tell you. That is all. Oh yes, she'll be frightened if you tell her about the malevolence. Sierra! My word. You cannot keep a secret in the world. He's a pure boy. Leave him alone. Pure chaos. Thank you, Sierra. I whispered and winked at him, and he flushed happily, obviously blithe to the glares pointed his way. What are the malevolence? Kayam shared a look with each of the others and took a sip from his glass. I noted it was a purple drink, and finally looked back at me. I shall give you the short of it. Would you that do? Yes, please. I nodded eagerly. Don't come crying to us, should you have nightmares.
You can come to me.
Okay. I'll come to you when I have nightmares. But I can... Ouch. Oh, thank you, Cole, for welcoming me back. While Arias, Zafin, and Fair had their little tiff, I turned my full attention to Kayam. They are spirits that are malcontent. They are beings that are very dangerous that needs to be taken down quickly. We have been seeing them more frequently, and therefore we need to eliminate them before they hurt you or anyone else. Oh, that does sound scary. We have a handle on it, although you mustn't slack on your training. Yes, I'd like to take a break and let you do some heavy lifting. I shall make no promises. May I have another refill, Kayam?
Anytime. May your dreams remain as sweet as this drink.
While I smiled, I didn't realize then that I had yet to have a single dream since I had arrived. But I had a lot on my plate. After all, I had the power to learn to beat up evil spirits before they could eat me. I mean, so that I could be a bigger help.
Yeah, we only want to be eaten in one way in this game, and it is not by evil spirits. If you know what I mean, and I think you do. Ha 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 ha. The next few days had gone as normal. Well, as normal as they could, as I adjusted to the supernatural world. I had gone on reapings with each of the guys, but one day I found myself on a lunch break without anyone to share it with. Even Lila had gone off somewhere. I assumed it was the human world for Boba. I wish she invited me. I hope she brings me back something at least. I thought going to the human world was for special occasions, but she had been the one to teach me otherwise. Frequently, she had come like a whirlwind and whisked me away for some treat or another. At first, I was afraid she wouldn't like me much, but she treated me like an old friend. Show me Lila, game. I want to be in love with her. It was nice being with another girl, I found myself thinking, but today even her desk was empty. Maybe I can take another walk by myself. I had brought 2 sandwiches from the canteen. There was one person I thought of I could share my lunch with, and had made my purchase with him in mind. Although I suspected my company wouldn't be very welcome. Well, he said he owned the alleyway. I didn't think he meant it. He was there again. Was he what they called a delinquent? An even more welcome sight was his little cat. Mr. Kitty! I reached out my hand for him to sniff, and he nuzzled against my palm immediately. Lucian stared at us in disbelief. You again? Hello to you too. I thought I told you to go back to your reapers. I did, and I came back here today. I even got you lunch. I handed one of the sandwiches to Lucian and took some turkey out of mine for the cat to take. He wriggled his nose after finishing his portion and jumped to take a bite out of Lucian's sandwich. Hey, this one's mine. The cat hissed at him, and Lucian begrudgingly gave him some more. You can have some from me. I tore off part of my sandwich, and Mr. Kitty stole the piece in one bite. Wow, you really enjoy this. I shall bring more with me next time. Next time? He spoke mid-bite. His words were all muffled, his cheeks puffed out cutely like a chipmunk. The desire to poke his cheeks grew more and more intensely by the day. Who said you can come back? But you took my offering. Why can't I come? Don't you have your own friends? I can always make more. Well, I didn't accept it. But you accepted the sandwich.
I can cough it back up.
So he said, but he couldn't resist taking another bite of the sandwich. Since then, I'd come back to visit whenever I had a break. I felt guilty, of course. I hated keeping secrets from the people who had been caring for me. But Lucian had insisted I couldn't tell a single soul about him, and he was harmless to me, so what was one little secret? Next time, yes, you're mine now. You ate my sandwich. It is the Fey way. Haha, I fey-trapped him. He's mine. With each visit over the next few weeks, I had grown more comfortable in venting to him that I was afraid to vent to him what I was afraid to burden the others with. How's reaping coming along? Still the bane of your existence? It's still not pleasant. I finally had to take someone to hell the other day. And how was that? Harder than I thought it would be. Earlier that week. So we have to take someone to hell today? Guy's a real scumbag. Truly awful. I'm the biggest hypocrite. I talked about burning down sham hospitals, and now I have to toss a man into hell. I should be happy, but I want to throw up. You get to punish an evildoer today, and yet you look so upset. You going to sleep? Okay, baby. Doing something yourself feels much different. It does. He let out a long, withering sigh and held the weight of 1,000 burdens. The guy's been scamming the elderly, robbed his own family dry. He's probably the type to kick puppies, and he's been the cause of many deaths through fraud. But he's never once been caught. The rich types like him never do. Disgusting. My blood boiled. He was no different than the nobility in my era. I feel a bit better about the shrieks that I had heard when I visited hell the first time. The shrieks that I heard when I visited hell for the first time rang in my head. Has my resolve weakened since my death? I was threatening violence just the other day. Or does my empathy waver when I can't see the effects of a sinner myself? As I was about to spiral into a moral crisis, I felt Kayam's hand on my shoulder. We will be there by your side. Are you ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Or so I thought. The bastard was a runner, and chasing him around wasn't helping my patience any. I need to find out which one of my horses won. You're dead. What does it matter? You've already lost either way. And frankly, your odds were never good. This is why you've never held on to a fortune. That stopped the man in his tracks. He raised an angry finger to jab Kayam, and the three of us seized him. Gotcha! I was so thrilled to catch our target that I had momentarily forgotten what the next step was. So wait, you hated not being able to punish the people who hurt that kid. I explained the source of my struggle the last time I had come to visit. Right? But now you're wavering because you have to do it yourself. If your friend had let you, would you have really blown up those sham hospitals? I twirled a strand of hair around my finger as I contemplated it. It wasn't too difficult imagining myself, armed with explosive, cackling in triumph in front of a pile of rubble. I feel like I could have. Why? Is there something wrong with me? I'm the yandere.
I think you aren't as ruthless as you think you might be. I think you need something to strike you personally for you to go crazy, I guess.
Thanks. That makes me feel selfish. He shrugged. Well, you're realistic. At least you don't act like you're perfect. He nodded sagely and tapped his foot against the crate as he dissected my personality for me and offered his sage wisdom.
Which brings me back to what I said last time. You don't seem like you're the type that listens.
Just do your job. Don't think too hard about this kind of thing.
Easy for you to say. He clicked his tongue and swung his foot with a heavy thud against the box to show his irritation.
You don't know the half of it. All jobs suck, anyway.
This one deals with life and death.
Technically just dead.
Ugh.
Anyways, did you make it into hell, or did you go home?
Well, during my visit in hell, after getting cursed out by the fellow in our custody, I had to come to terms that it was my responsibility to bring him to his unfortunate fate. So I have to put him in there?
That's right.
But
He was an absolute arse to you. Have you forgotten already? I can still hear you. Unhand me, or else you will. For the last time, you're dead. You're going to hell. You've really got some nerve threatening us.
Chaim groaned and let go of the man. He struggled in our grasp, but Zafin wrapped a hand around his neck. While Chaim opened the door that seemed to lead to nowhere, the man thrashed around even harder. His eyes widened and his face contorted. The view that was invisible to us sent him into shivers. Please just, accept your fate and come with us peacefully.
You want me to go to hell and to go quietly? Fuck you, you little bitch.
He spat in my face.
No.
He did, and he would regret it.
I was seething red. As I recoiled back, my fist to punch him with all I had, Zafin and Chaim beat me to it. The man was on the floor, crushed under their feet.
I added my heel to his gut for good measure and stomped down. As you should. As you should. Never let a man spit in your face. Spit back. Be mean. Both his cheeks sported bruises. My only regret was that neither of them were from me.
You've got a lot of fucking nerve!
That's my boy. Zafin snarled. His anger was such a stark extreme to his usual jovial nature. A shiver ran down my spine.
I'm already going to hell. It can't get any worse.
No, it can't. Think again. Look at this man. This is King of Hell vibes. Look at him.
Whatever horrors you can imagine, I will darken your nightmares until your very existence flickers out.
Yeah, that's it. That's right there. That's the good shit. That served as the last warning the man would receive before Chaim delivered a swift, brutal kick that sent him flying into his peril. A tense silence passed between us until I cleared my throat.
I was supposed to do that, right?
You can get the next one. Zafin, help her with the paperwork. I have someone to talk to. Use that stiletto, that sharp, stabby heel, not the sharp, stabby knife. Oh, this man's making sure he goes to double hell for spitting at me. Without so much as a farewell, he marched off down a hallway that I never want to walk down myself. He can be scary. Sorry for that. I must have scared you a little bit myself. A little, but you were standing up for me. And you just beat me to the punch. Literally, actually. Thank you, Zav. Oh, we called him Zav. What a cute nickname. I gave him a hug that was more for my sake than his. I was being spoiled. I was spoiled by all the attention Felix had given me whenever I had been down. Even whenever I didn't admit my feelings, he always managed to get a read on them. Let's move a bit out of the way. He's going to hell where Hades sent people for trying to kidnap Persephone. Yeah, he's going to double hell. Oh, sorry. I tried to let go, but he kept me caged in his very toned, this was an objective observation, arms, and let me settle down in a quiet corner. That got intense quickly. Comes with the whole hell thing, I suppose. You dating that Zaffin dude? I choked on what was left of my sandwich. What?
Cuddling. In the middle of hell. This sounds romantic to me.
Right? That's what I said, Zaffin. Those are my boyfriends. Or Lucian. No, I'm leaving. You're more defensive than I thought you'd be. He rubbed my back as I coughed. Though he acted like I was a thorn in his side, he warmed up a lot more after I fed him. Mr. Kitty was curled up against my feet, batting the strap of my boot boredly. I am not defensive. I did not appreciate the smug laugh Lucian shared with the cat. Well, find one of those guys to date and just forget everything else. All jobs suck. This one just sucks a bit more. You don't have a choice, so instead of driving yourself mad, just let it be. This is my gay BFF, I think. Why can't Lila be my gay girlfriend? Easy for you two. That was the first time I had received a genuine glare from him, and my voice refused to come out of my throat. You must have experience, then. You have no idea. Well, my lunch break is almost over. I'll get going now. Don't come looking for me again. I will. Don't tell me what to do. He said this every time. Then don't hang out in this alley. It's my alley. Meow. Okay, our alley. Sure. What do you want me to bring you next time? Something from the human world? Why didn't we have boba in this world? I would have to talk to Sierra about this. Although Kayam seemed to favor sweets the most out of the group, he might be more of a promising avenue to pursue. If you want. Although he tried to say no, his lip was quivering. How cute. I guess you're going back to your boyfriend. Is Kayam the one you're dating? Listen, if you leave the cat, you can walk away. Right? I'm not dating any of them. Plus, Kayam's going to be away for the next few days. I think he's fighting evil spirits again. I'd offer to help, but I'd rather not, if I can help it. Mr. Kitty leapt up onto my shoulder and nuzzled my face. I'll come back to see you soon. Don't worry. He meowed at Lucin, and I may have been hearing things, but it was quite authoritative for a meow. Could a cat issue commands? Of course, humans have always been at the mercy of cats. Maybe I was reading too much into this. We have always been at the mercy of cats. I'm at the mercy of my cat all the time. I literally got up to have a stretch break because my baby wanted treats. I know my place. You're going with her? Okay, maybe I wasn't crazy after all. Or maybe we both were. But if we're both crazy, are we both sane by default? This was the kind of question that would keep me up at night. The shock and subsequent betrayal was evident in his voice, ringing clear. Was the cat not friendly to others? My heart surged with pride and a sense of accomplishment. The cat meowed at him and smacked his tail against Lucien's face. Yeah, humans didn't domesticate cats. Cats just agreed to live inside. Exactly. This is why I never get annoyed with Nova wherever she chooses to lay down. Whether it be beside her bed, under the desk instead of in her bed beside the desk, on my feet, on my face when I'm sleeping. I'm just like, you can lay wherever you want, baby girl. I'm just happy you're here. All right, but you better behave while you're away. He said he wants to go with you for a few days. I don't know if it's the best idea. I'll take Mr. Kitty. I'll take good care of him. What does he like to eat? Anything you eat is fine with him, but don't give him cat food. He doesn't like it. But is it safe for him to eat whatever I do? He's not like a cat in the human world. Anything is fine for him. You're not trying to get him sick, are you? He looked aghast at my accusation. What? No, he's annoying, but I don't want anything to happen to him. Mr. Kitty rolled his eyes. I didn't know cats could do that, and snuggled into my arms. I'm teasing. You'll still be in the alley, right? Yes. And that was all he said before going to toss our sandwich wrappers away.
Ah, a cat! Where did you find this little one?
Sierra reached to pick up Mr. Kitty, but he hissed angrily at the poor angel. Sierra's shoulders fell in a sad slump, and I patted him with a free hand while petting the cat with the other. Sorry, I think he's wary of strangers. He quirked an eyebrow at my comment. Are you not a stranger to this cat, too? Well, I found him a few days ago. You've been having adventures without me. I wish we could have found it together. That's what I liked about Sierra. He never grew suspicious, just a little pouty at being left out. I'm sorry, Sierra. I was worried I'd get scolded, but he's so cute. I had to bring him home. I hope he will let me pet him soon. A low growl from Mr. Kitty indicated that would not be happening anytime soon. Should we go and buy supplies for him? Supplies? But he can eat human food. Well, he is still a cat. Does he not need some things? Mr. Kitty blinked at us, and I swear he side-eyed Sierra. I shall research it. He pulled out his watch and typed out, "What do you need for a mean cat?" He isn't mean. He is unkind to me. Oh, Sierra, you're such a pouty little man. I love you. Meow.
All right, we'll need a brush. You know what? I suppose you have food handled. What about some ped? Ow! Hey!
The cat swiped at him.
I suppose he requires fine china as well. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
I couldn't tell if Sierra was being sarcastic or not. He only ever expressed displeasure when whining.
And little... Ouch!
I did not think his voice could grow that loud. Mr. Kitty finally managed to land a swipe on his arm and had sunk his teeth. For good measure, too.
I suppose he doesn't require that either. In any case, I shall refrain from making any further suggestions.
As I extracted Mr. Kitty away from Sierra, I saw that there was a faint tear in his clothing. Oh no, I'm sorry, Sierra. I'll replace it. Ah, do not fret so, Pinker. With a flex of his fingers, I saw a glow travel up his arm, where he was bleeding moments ago under the torn fabric. His skin returned to its smooth self. The fabric had sewn itself back as if there was never a split in the first place. Sorcery. You can heal. It comes with the job. He smiled, and this enraged Mr. Kitty again. I held back the cat before he could pounce on Sierra's face this time. This cat hates this angel man. While I did not doubt his healing abilities, I imagined it still would hurt a good deal for his face to become shredded. I think the two of you should stay away from each other. Wise as always. How about I leave him at my desk while I finish my work? I'm behind on my reports for the week. You've only been working for a week. You're already behind. Arias and Valfair joined us out of thin air and startled me more than the cat.
I shall assist you. Worry not.
So you're taking on work voluntarily.
Brings
a
a
tear
tear-
to my eye. Never thought I'd live to see the day.
He ruffled Sierra's hair affectionately, drawing out the angel's adorable pout.
You tease me far too much. I've always helped you with whatever you've asked of me.
What have I ever asked you for?
You should ask me more then.
So where did this cat come from? I found him on the street. Mr. Kitty, stay at my desk, okay? I didn't feel like answering any more questions, so I put him on my shoulder and dashed off to my desk before leaving to finish my work for the day. Well, the finer... Oop. I didn't understand the point of it, but to be honest, I didn't understand most of what had been happening around me. We had gone shopping for a brush for Mr. Kitty. He had picked the most ornate one we could find. He still refused to go near any of the others and stubbornly clung to me. Mr. Kitty says, no man is good enough for you. I couldn't resist being a little bit smug about the cat hating Arias. I was lying in bed with the cat on my chest as the guys camped on the floor for safety. You're such a sweet kitty, aren't you? Yeah, make it more obvious, will ya? Sierra had healed the scratches on his face, but he couldn't heal the damage that Arias' ego had suffered.
Orias wants to pet the kitty. Both the cat and in the euphemism way.
It's a shame that Kane is missing out on this excitement.
Yeah, a real shame. Valefair was the only one who escaped any scars. The others just made Mr. Kitty nervous, that's all. I snuggled my cheek against him, and he purred sweetly. Oh, to be a cat. It seems like a nice life. He gets brushed, fed, and gets to cuddle with Pinker. Oh, Sierra was an innocent boy, so I didn't think anything of it. I'd give him some head pats later so he didn't feel too left out. You were so lucky you're an idiot. Orias, don't be unkind to him.
I am not an idiot. I should not have healed you.
Wow, you got his mean side to show. Impressive. Anyways, speaking of Kayam, how about we send him a picture of our new furry... Oh, wrong button. Furry friend. Mr. Kitty doesn't like that idea. Pinker's new furry friend. He amended that quickly, sparing a nervous glance towards Mr. Kitty's paws. To think one cat could bring them to their knees. I giggled quietly and took my phone out. How do I take a photo again? Come, I'll show you. As Zafin walked over, Mr. Kitty suddenly leapt off and scurried into the other room. There he goes. Oh dear, should we go get him? Nah. Valfair? Sierra? Zafin? I intentionally picked the most patient of the bunch. Sierra may have been a bit lazy, but he was always willing to help me. Mr. Kitty was a persistent target. In the end, I only managed to get a blurry photo of him while he batted his paws from the top of the fridge. Well, Kayam will finally get to see what he is missing out on. Both Valfair and Sierra stared at me with glassy eyes. Zafin had nervously joined the cat hunt, but he was laid out flat on the floor in the end. I would have thought you guys had better stamina than this. I believe there is something wrong with that cat. I must say I agree. Hey, don't talk about my friend like that. He was doubled over, panting. Mr. Kitty can't be seen by Kayam. Lucian and Kayam are connected somehow. You all are exaggerating, but thank you for helping me. Let me make you some dessert as thanks.
No cherry in mine.
Orias shamelessly called out from the bedroom. I scoffed in response. You didn't even help.
So you're not even going to treat a guest? Wow.
See if I don't sneeze in yours.
I muttered under my breath, but with Sierra's aid, I decided to make some milkshakes for each of us. How do I use the mixer again? Ah! The splatter reached the top of the fridge where Mr. Kitty had gone to sleep,
and with a yowl he leapt onto Valfair's head. He was no longer unscathed. Youch!
That cat is cursed! We must get rid of it.
He waved a very dramatic finger at the fleeing culprit.
Here, here.
I'll throw it out the window. Hey, that's my kitty!
I normally do not condone animal cruelty, however.
I thought angels were supposed to be well-intentioned. I shall wholeheartedly assist. Even Valfair is ruffled, huh? After that little incident, the rest of the evening was uneventful. I had consoled Valfair quite heartedly. I didn't think he had a pouty side, but he did. It was adorable. Although I was smart enough not to say that out loud. I heard dark mutters of returning Mr. Kitty back to the street when I wasn't looking. You monsters! I'd lock the doors, but I think Mr. Kitty would win that battle. I was eagerly awaiting a reply from Kayam, but nothing ever came. But nothing had come yet. He seems like he likes cats. Maybe Mr. Kitty would like him, if he had the chance. When will Kayam get back? Hard to say. I might have to go looking for him if he doesn't return in a few days. I had offered to go too. He was still a little more irritable than usual, so I gave him a little more whipped cream for his ice cream. Sierra had decided to replace the cat, his head laid in my lap whenever I wasn't up getting more ice cream. You should have. What if he's dead in a ditch somewhere? Don't say that. I'll confiscate your ice cream. I should have sneezed in it. He had the audacity to sit cross-legged on the couch, happily drinking a milkshake he did not even earn. Those malevolence are a tough fight. Wonder why they didn't assign me. You're too hot-headed, that's why. Isn't that Zephin? I'm plenty rational, thank you. Will he be okay on his own? He's had hundreds of years of experience, but if you're worried about Kayam, we can find him together. Arias pursed his lips around his spoon before waving it at us. What? That's a terrible idea. Besides, she's scared shitless of ghosts. I am. In-game. I'll fight them. That's the spirit. I'll be your backup, Pinker. I suppose I'll have to keep your sorry ass alive. I love your vulgar words, vulgar man. But his words were accompanied by a smile, despite himself.
Besides, who'll make us drinks if Cam kicks the bucket?
I'm going to tell him everything you men have been saying when he comes back home. I crossed my arms with indignation on behalf of my bespectacled friend, and the boys laughed.
He will thank us, actually, when we tell him how much you've said in his defense.
I had eventually coaxed Mr. Kitty back out. And just like that, he'd become part of my routine. He followed me everywhere when I was home. He waited patiently outside my bathroom whenever I would bathe, and would yelp when I changed my clothes in front of him. For a cat, he had quite a strong sense of privacy. When I was at work, I'd let him roam around outside. He was always back by dinner time.
I had searched for Lucian to give him an update, but I hadn't come across him since we last spoke. I hope he's alright. What if it had something to do with why Mr. Kitty had come home with me? That's two people I'm worried about now. Kayam, where are you, man? Perhaps he's enjoying himself in the human world. Gorging himself on sweets as poor Pinker frets. I'm not fretting. Please relieve us from the cat. Is that really your biggest concern? LOL. Look how cute this kitty is. Look at Mr. Kitty. Pinker, where are you? Before I could reply, a call came through from him. Kayam, where are you? I'm home. Where are you? Where's the cat?
Where is he?
I don't know. I let him out for a walk. I'll go look for him. Stay where you are. I'm coming up. Who is the cat? I hung up the phone. What was happening? I was too anxious to stay put and ran down the stairs, 2 at a time. I had run outside and found Kayam out of breath in front of our apartment building. What's going on with Mr. Kitty? Are you okay? I told you to stay put. I'm fine. I want to know what's happening. Just then, I spotted Mr. Kitty. Mr. Kitty! I tried to run to my cat, but Kayam held me back. What's going on? Methodist, show yourself. Oh my god! It's a demon! It's a demon! So the cat really could turn into a person. I felt faint, spiritually.
Hello, big brother. And my lovely master.
Who are you? What are you doing? Just living with me, sir? He sauntered over towards us slowly. Kayam shoved me behind his wide back.
Guess the jig is up, huh? Thanks for hosting me. You're much nicer than all those other idiots. You're the only one I'd want to cuddle, anyway.
Big brother? My cat just turned into Kayam's brother? What is wrong with my life? I mean, death. I give up. Chapter 4. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Would anyone care to explain what is going on here?
Kayam redirected the questioning to me and I gulped. Look. The cat you've kept close to you this whole time has been my brother. From the corner of my eye, I saw Mathelus wave cheerily at the mention of his name, although I knew it was unwise to point it out. We know that you've been hiding something from us. Was it this? Did you know the cat was Mathelus? Kayam stood toe-to-toe with me, and I furiously shook my head. No, I thought this was just a cat. I aimed a beseeched look at him, hoping he would believe that I was just an idiot, not a traitor. He sighed and gave me a curt nod. We can speak more later. He's dangerous, Pinker. Go back inside and call for the others. No, I want to look at him. He's so pretty. Look at how pretty he is. Well, he raised his arm again to keep me behind him and to urge me to return. I dug my heels into the ground. If he's dangerous, then I'm not leaving you behind. This is my business. He was my cat. He's my business too. I could see the warring thoughts reflecting in his countenance, but he only pursed his lips. Very well, but contact the others. Yes, sir. I could get used to calling him sir. I ferociously sent a text message to the group chat, and a cough from Matthias jerked our attention back to him. So these male violence, have they been your doing?
What? Why would you just accuse me of that with no evidence?
Matthias, male violence. Do you think no one would make the connection? You've been raising this army for decades, but I had been blinded.
Oh, you think I'm as vain as you are, that I just named them after myself.
You're more vain than I am. You definitely would.
So you admit it. You think you're vain.
I am going to so thoroughly beat your arse that...
You're planning to do a bit more than that. Sorry, I'm not sticking around for that.
No stay, Mr. Kitty. He pulled down his eyelid and stuck his tongue out in a quite rude gesture. I was still shocked that my cat had turned into a villain and was acting quite childish to boot. Was this just a prank?
Well, I'd love to stay. I think you've got a problem ahead of you. You were the one that named them malevolent, by the way. In case you've forgotten, dumbass.
Oh. Looking towards where Matthias had pointed, there was a being of blue fire that was slithering on, through the street. It shows up with oh so convenient timing, and you're telling me that you have nothing to do with it. If you want to give me undue credit, by all means. He bowed and rolled his eyes, and then snapped back up to give me one last wave. See you around. Thanks for being such a gracious host. I'll tell my brother you send your regards. Is Lucian also what? Yeah, oh my god, it's the ears. Lucian's also one of the brothers. God damn it. Kayam, is everyone in your family so hot? Thanks for all the food. You're the lazy brother. I love you. And with a wink, he took the form of a crow and flew away. All that food. How much time have you been spending with them? All right. Did my cat have to throw me to the wolves like that? Kayam looked at me with a withering stare, and I pointed to the threat ahead of us that looked just about ready to attack. Saved by the enemy, you could say. Too much was happening at once, and we weren't afforded any time to process what had just happened. As Chaim swore at Matthias through gritted teeth, I lunged out of danger and glanced back to see that he too had leapt to safety. Chaim! Run back, Pinker. Now. I'm not going to leave you here by yourself. I'm more than capable of handling one of these by myself, I assure you. Are you not afraid of spirits? Not enough to abandon you. I love you. As you wish. Although that got him to give in, I wasn't sure if I was speaking out of bravado or if I was truly able to handle this. In any case, there was no time for rumination. The spirit snapped up and under my feet, and I leapt up with not a moment to spare. Damn it, that was close. Take that! Take that! I thank the stars for my increase in agility, and swept my scythe below me, while Chaim struck it from the side. Yes! My blade made a clean swipe through the body, then a repelling force threw me back, along with my weapon. Damn! Pinker? I'm okay. Don't worry. Why is this creature so strong? The power of spite is not to be underestimated, I fear. That is what this monster is composed of. The creature split itself into two, now long whips, coiling out from what I assume to be its arms. This is not how I wanted to spend my day. Chaim and I were standing facing opposite sides, a monster on each side looking back at us. I did offer you a retreat. Yes, yes, like the handsome, gracious gentleman you are. Handsome? Haha. It is unwise to feed my ego. I will feed your ego. I wanted to volley back a witty quip, but alas, mortal peril silenced my tongue. A whip-like arm plunged towards me, and I raised my weapon to shield myself. The force propelled me once more. My boots skid across.
So close on the first date.
Oop. I clicked too fast. But I like getting close to Chaim.
I'd love to be more demure, but unfortunately my hands are tied. Ugh.
My blade took a barrage of assaults as I fought back. I prayed the craftsmanship would hold out. I would endeavor to be more gentlemanlike, but I'm afraid that we are in the same boat. Well, he held his own far better than I did. I felt the weight of his shoulder blades digging into mine. Remember to expel your energy into your weapon, Pinker. We didn't quite get that far into our lessons yet. In truth, I had tried, but I couldn't quite keep the flame of my energy flickering long enough. I think this situation might be more of a boon for honing your skills. Such fancy words to tell me to just try it. Aye, aye. I scrunched up my face like a child told to perform long division, and one could almost hear Arias cackling in my ears as I pressured my being to extend to my blade. I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Look!
Well, I would love to assess your progress. I am trying to keep you from being perforated at the moment. Where in the blazes are the others?
Right here, you impatient old man.
Yay! My other boyfriends came to save us. The cavalry had arrived once more, signaled by Arias's clicking tongue. I was flanked by Arias and Zaffin on both sides. Valfair and Sierra are still at work. I trust you two can manage this. Faster than you. Zaffin started dealing blows in tandem with me, and I very much welcomed the additional strength. How are you so strong?
Decades of practice. You'll be able to lift me one day.
I'll be able to bench press him one day. Yay! I love that he believes in me so much. Such a supportive man. Lift your damn weapon first. You're right. Sorry for doing nothing this entire time. I couldn't even afford to glare at him. The creature had split itself once more in a desperate bid for survival. Kyle, I thought you said just one would be easy. None of the ones I've encountered have had the ability to reproduce like this. I welcome the challenge. Water. Well, I don't.
And one day you will. Sorry, Ina. I'll back you up in just a bit. Tricky little bastard, aren't you?
As our attention and targets split, I was left to face the last remnant of the male violent on my own. This time, I had bore the entire weight of a blow, but instead of being pushed back, I was stuck in place. The whip-like substance had started to draw the essence from my weapon, and in turn, me. Oh no, you don't. I strengthened myself to harden against the creature. While it did not sever our bond, I felt something different. Why do I feel stronger? I wonder. Instead of repelling, this time I was trying to draw the power in for myself, and I felt vitalized. I faintly heard the sounds of the other three shadows dissipate, but mine was still there, only barely. As I stole more and more of its power, the male violence started to fade. Pinker, step back. Let go. I have a handle on this. I got it. Let go. He ricocheted down towards me, slicing down his blade on the connection between the creature and me. Zaffin, Arias, what the hell? Why didn't you stop her? Sorry. He muttered earnestly, sheepish, and Zaffin stared down at his feet. I thought you'd be better than this, at least, Arias. Arias remained quiet. What's the big deal? It was unsettling how quickly Kayam went from being menacing to displaying concern for me. Pinker, how are you feeling? He tightly gripped my shoulders, and the panic racing in his eyes was unsettling. Normally, Kyan was like a beacon of calm. Today, though, he was shaken, and I regretted being the reason for it. I shouldn't have taken my eyes off of her. See that you do not next time. I can take care of myself. While I did appreciate their concern, I felt a small rush of irritation rise inside of me.
Plus, I didn't like seeing Arias be scolded on my behalf. Pinker, there's a lot of things you still don't know. I know, but... And a lot of things that we do not know yet. What were you doing in the end? There was a tether between you two, but you seemed rather sure of yourself. I was absorbing its power. They gaped at me like I had started speaking another language. I was, or at least I think I was. Are you sure? Not that I'm doubting you, but... I felt stronger. I was trying to siphon its power to me, and... Why would you do that? Arias. I felt it trying to steal my energy first, so I was compelled to do the opposite. It sounded somewhat pathetic, and more than a little petty as I said the words out loud. These beings are composed of harmful energy, Pinker. We do not know what effects that may have on you. Oh no. Am I going to turn evil? I looked down at my palms, as if they were turning blue right at that moment. You seem like the same old airhead to me. Hey, shut up. Don't be like that. Be nice to me. I'm cute. And you're still the same jerk, I see.
Aina, do not ever do such a thing again.
How did this happen? Kayam's stern warning and Zaphan's confusion was a keen reminder of the actual situation we had at hand. The banter of battle lulled me into a false impression that all was well between us, but it was time to face the music. I have a feeling my brother had a hand in what happened. My cat. Your cat? Wait. You texted us that Kaim's brother showed up. So that's what your cat got to do. So what's your cat got to do with this? I can read, guys. The fact that I had been keeping a secret was about to come to light, and that I had lost my cat. What is happening? Arias and Zaphan looked to both Kayam and I for answers, but I was afraid to speak. I grew envious of the spirit that just disappeared. I too wished to dissipate into thin air right now. We can talk about this when we're not in the middle of the street. Zaphan slung an arm around me. Whether it was a gesture of consolation or comfort, I couldn't tell. With this uncomfortable silence, we returned home together. All right, we are going to save. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.